Following Split 1, we saw the collapse of Cloud9, Sentinels, and FaZe Clan, and going into Split 2, this left many big-name players looking for the next teams. What formed was one of the most hyped and beloved teams in ALGS history. Lou, Albrelelli, and Naughty team up to form LANimals.
20 on count, in your right.
Nice win this game, KB.
Oh my god!
Okay, I'm gonna go close.
Wait, I'll just kill that.
Guy's one. Follow me on the left side staircase.
Up.
Cracked him.
Might get pinned on the left. Knock, have a knock, guys. Got one.
Chill, there's a new team. Knocked him, okay, chill. Just chill. Watch your right.
Top one! On height, little city!
Watch your fucking right. Watch your right now.
I'm on it. I don't have walls for this. Group on me, guys. Safe.
We're good on me. Safe on me.
I gotta kill.
Go up.
No.
Listen to me. Go. Fucking go.
Shit on, Naughty. Shit on. Fight, bro. Fight.
Go here. Crack mode. Last guy.
Under. Shit on. Let's fucking go, boys. That's what I'm fucking talking about. We're so good.
But beneath all the hype, there were a few underlying issues that not only caused them to miss LAN, but unfortunately led to the demise of the team as a whole. Welcome back to The Reset, where today we will be exploring why LANimals ultimately failed. But first, if you enjoy ALGS content, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also make sure to follow me over on Twitter and Twitch. And if you want to find out ways to support me even further, click the link in the description to check out my Patreon. In Split 2, LANimals failed to qualify for LAN by just 3 points, and many expected this team to stick it out considering how close they came with only a few months together. They still had a shot at qualifying through last chance qualifiers, and honestly probably would have been one of the favorites to make it to champs. But on May 27th, Lou announced on Twitter that he would be parting ways with the team. At the end of the video, we will explore why they broke apart as a team, but first we need to go over what went wrong that prevented them from gaining those 3 extra points to qualify for LAN, which leads us into problem number 1. We cannot ignore how little time this team had played together. It is no secret that specifically for Naughty and Alb, the last few splits of Pro League have been a revolving door of teammates that they played with. When this team was put together, many realized that while LAN was possible in their first split together, there were some clear chemistry issues that needed to be ironed out over time. First off, Albrelelli was coming off a split with FaZe where he was the IGL. Coming into LANimals, he was not going to be IGLing, and it stated that he wanted to break some of the bad habits he had in regards to communication. Meanwhile, Naughty was finally teaming with someone new after playing with Zach Mazer as his IGL for the past 2 years, and Mazer's IGLing and communication style was very different than that of their new IGL, Lou. And Lou himself was coming off being dropped by Sentinels, who he had previously spent around a year and a half with. While all 3 clearly had a lot to prove and shared a desire to make this team work, considering their recent circumstances, their previous team's playstyles varied, their teammates' personalities and communication styles varied, and ultimately this meant that there would need to be an adjustment period. And unfortunately, it took a bit longer than anticipated. LANimals had 3 match days where they scored single-digit points. 2 of those came on the first 2 match days of the split. And not only was their early chemistry still being figured out, but so was the macro. Those first 2 match days, they were still playing a comp of Seer and Bangalore with a third of Wraith, Catalyst, or Valk. It wasn't until their 3rd match day that they dropped the Bangalore in favor of Rampart, and they really started to find their stride. During this period, they also unfortunately had their coach Koljan part ways with the team due to personal issues. They eventually brought Duplex in to replace him, but once again, that just throws another person into the mix that will take time to become effective in their role as they learn about the team. This change was gradual, and they never truly found their best final form until their final match day of the split before regional finals. On match day 8, they cooked up a new adjustment to their comp. They had been running the Seer Rampart Valk, which was working for them. They then made one tweak, which ended up working out even better. They dropped Seer. Instead, they picked up Gibby and Loba, and the logic was that since they would be playing a hard zone style on this match day, Seer's value was somewhat somewhat lower throughout the entire game, considering that you're sitting in a building, whereas a character like Loba can snatch loot to allow you to rotate quicker. They made this adjustment and ended up having their best day of the entire split, finishing in 2nd place. So overall, they were on an upward trajectory through the entire split, showing that they were improving as time progressed. But in the regional finals, they decided to continue to tinker with their legend comps. On Stormpoint, they continued with their Gibby Rampart Valk comp that was giving them success the prior match day, albeit with somewhat limited success, but still their Stormpoint was better on the 2 maps for them in regionals. But on World's Edge, they decided to change up the comp a few times. In game number 3, they ran Caustic Pathfinder Loba. Game number 4, they dropped the Caustic to bring back Rampart, only then for game 7 and 8 to bring back the Caustic Pathfinder Loba comp again. This change was particularly confusing as the most successful day they ever had on World's Edge was running the Rampart Loba Valk comp that they ran on day 8, where they scored 31 points across World's Edge, averaging double-digit points per game. Point being, while early on we can blame the chemistry issues, things did start to get better as they found their groove, only for them to shift things big time in regionals. Now, something that was somewhat out of their control for regionals was they were forced to swap POIs. In regionals, all the best teams are playing, so the split drop strategy that we will cover later no longer works, which means they have to settle for worse POIs such as Frag East, and if you've seen my Meat Lovers video, you know that it is pretty awful. So that certainly did not help them in regional finals, but I don't really understand the comp change to Caustic Pathfinder. My assumption is that they dropped Valk for Pathfinder because they're landing in the center of the map and won't have to move as far as they would with staging, but in the biggest game of the season, I don't think now is the time to start cooking up something different. Stick with what you had success with, even if you're going to be changing POIs. Too much change leading into a match day brings in a lot of unknown variables. It just removes the foundation of success that you've built upon throughout the split. Anyway, this poor performance on World's Edge was not a one-off thing in regional finals, as it actually plagued them the entire split, which brings us to problem number 2. So LANimals, similar to Meat Lovers on my last video, had a split drop strategy, and it was incredibly interesting the way that they deployed it. On match days 1, 4, and 6 versus Group B, they would land at Thermal Station and Lightning Rod, 2 of the best edge POIs on the game. And on match days 2, 5, and 8 versus Group C, they would land at Staging and Mill, 2 of the best zone POIs on the game. This approach is interesting because depending on the lobby, the playstyle changes. When playing zone, they were one of the fastest rotating teams, and while playing on edge, they would obviously attempt to take their time and rotate in. The interesting part here is that they didn't really change their legend composition to account for the different playstyles much. On match days 1 and 2, as we discussed earlier, they had the foundation of Seer and Bangalore on both days despite playing 2 different styles. Then they started to improve once again when they started running the Rampart Seer Valk across both maps regardless of the match day, but as stated earlier, they started making changes near the end. Anyway, to tie it back to the point I made, World's Edge was an issue throughout the split. On Twitter, I was releasing these World's Edge versus Stormpoint performance charts, and they hovered near Meat Lovers throughout the entire split in this regard. They were one of the best Stormpoint teams in the region while being rather pitiful on World's Edge. And when we dive into the numbers behind each landing location, there is a clear outlier here. On zone days, when they landed at Mill, they averaged 7.6 points per game, and when landing at Staging, they averaged 6 points per game. Then on edge days, when landing at Lightning Rod, they averaged 7.4 points per game, but when landing at Thermal Station, they averaged 2.78 points per game. Now, it is important to note that on Stormpoint, regardless of POI or playstyle, they were simply better. But 6 points per game at Staging is nothing to scoff at, and had they simply maintained even half a point per game higher across the entirety of World's Edge, they would have qualified for LAN. I know it seems crazy, but let's take a look at these net standings. The order is not exactly how the actual standings panned out due to weighted scores for match days, but the top 11 are in fact all of the teams who qualified. LANimals finished 13th. If we give them 11 more match points on random World's Edge days, this is enough to get them to jump LG in the net standings with only a 0.5 bump in their World's Edge points per game. But let's play it safe because the numbers could be a bit faulty. About 20 more total points on World's Edge across the entire split jumps them up to about a full point per game higher on World's Edge. This puts them firmly firmly within the top 10 in the net standings and secures them LAN for sure. 20 points across the entire split is so wild to think about. That's obviously a lot of points, but it's also such a small margin that really illustrates how close they were. Anyway, that's enough with the numbers. Why were they so bad on Thermal Station? Well, this goes back to the same point I made about World's Edge in my Meat Lovers video. World's Edge as a map demands commitment. LANimals' style of edge play seemed like a delayed style of zone. They would loot and craft like an edge team, utilize survey beacons to identify playable spots and how to navigate into zone, but it seemed like some of the times, rather than ever trying to identify the best way to fight their way into zone as edge teams do, they would instead try to Valcolt into the middle of zone, and that sounds great, but the issue is that all the zone teams had already beat you to the best spots. They would find themselves playing in mediocre spots, center of zone, rather than playing like a true edge team would and trying to identify the best way to walk or fight your way in. This happened specifically on days 4 and 6 when they finally swapped to the Rampart comps. These were also coincidentally their 2 worst match days for World's Edge the entire split, picking up only 7 and 8 total points across each set. On day 4, game 1, zone pulled to them thermal, so they naturally played it like any team would and just bunkered down. Unfortunately, they didn't get any crafters this game, and they would eventually die out in the mid game fighting optic, so this game I don't give them a ton of flack for. In game 3, something similar happens, where the circle pulls towards them, although it ends up being a little bit more towards the staging side, but LANimals believes it's going to pull towards the thermal side, so rather than crafting, they instantly move up to the buildings on the north cliff, and they sit there the entire game.
Zone's kind of on us. Let's have a good fucking game.
Let's go, come on. Oh, I like that, man. Come on. Let's go.
We
Okay,
have to go to the houses.
Yeah, we need to go up there immediately. Like,
I'm
as
gonna
soon
try
as
to-
possible.
I'm gonna try to go there really fast and just like anchor.
They then die in an attempted Valcolt into zone where once again they have failed to put much pressure at all on the teams around them and instead play passively and defensively until they were forced into a move. But this issue becomes even more egregious on day 6. We start on game number 6 where the circle is pulling towards Fragment West. They do not have crafter this game, and rather than playing for one like an edge team would, once they see the circle is pulling towards Fragment, Lou wants to leave early.
What the fuck is that?
Pulls down into fragment.
Yeah.
I think it's this one.
Yeah, can we leave early for this?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's leave. Be done looting in like 30 seconds, okay?
Okay, got it.
Heard.
Leaving early for a POI they do not have priority to results in them leaving thermal with 2 white armors and a blue. They decide to move through Harvester where they end up getting choked out by NRG from staging and a wild card from tree.
Be ready to swerve back. We need to. We're good. Oh, they're there.
No.
They were just, bro, they were just fucking hiding the whole time. Yeah.
Once again, thermal is not situated for rotating early. Leaving early means you are almost guaranteed to bump into zone teams along their usual rotation paths. If LANimals had god tier loot, then go for it, but they didn't, and you should almost always play to your POI's strengths if you don't have priority. And that's the issue here. Lou thinks they do have priority. Obviously, I'm using knowledge here that Lou did not have in the moment, but in the time that LANimals reach Harvester, we already have 7 teams inside of Fragment with FaZe and LTC on the way, as well as once again NRG and Wildcard clashing rotates with LANimals. This causes Alb to die in rotation, so they have to flex back into a playstyle they should have been playing in the first place, but this only delays things a bit and wasted some valuable time. Although edge teams have flexibility in regards to time, they don't have all day to sit in zone, so you still want to keep somewhat of a decent pace. LANimals decide to revive Alberlelli at staging, they grab the staging mats, and then they want to go to countdown to craft. Now, before we progress here, why are they not crafting and staging? I have no clue, but they have loads of points, so I'm wagering a guess here. Because of the wasted time trying to rotate early and Alp dying, they need to be efficient in Storm here. Crafting at staging and then trying to then go craft at countdown afterwards will take longer than just grabbing the mats here and crafting all of it at countdown. So the goal seems to be to do it all in one fell swoop. But what they don't know is that Drug Free decided to craft at countdown on their rotation, and this happens.
Or one of you guys. Oh, Omi, what the fuck? I'm tossing cereal. Hop in your bat. Omi, right now.
Yeah, I know.
Almost cracked one. I had to back up.
I'm on this,
The bag on
I have to back up here. I'm gonna hit my bagel. I had to back up all the way.
We're good.
I'm okay.
Hey, bro. I'm dead. I die here. I'm safe right here for res.
I'm resing.
Yeah, go ahead,
Come on,
wrestle.
take a push.
We just don't have.
It's a
What a
good-
nade.
it's a good nade.
What a nade.
I need to just back up.
Run. You're fine.
I'm running.
run.
So much time. Just run. Do you white meds still?
They're chasing.
Yeah, I do.
You're chasing you. Keep going.
Keep running.
Yeah, I have to make it. Just let me hear.
No. That's just bad.
Alright, GG's.
Bro,
Fuck, man.
you just tank the Bangled on the roof.
Rotating early from thermal was the key issue here. If they rotated like a normal thermal team, then fully looting their POI would have allowed for NRG to pass by, then they most likely would have crafted at staging, maybe even been able to third-party the 3-team fight that was occurring at Landslide, grab some KP, then crafted at Countdown, maybe engaged out with Drug Free on the edge, and they would have been fine. But even with all that went wrong in this game, there was still one little thing that would have salvaged things that the boys acknowledged right after they died.
I thought we should have just maybe crafted our armor there.
Probably
At least and then
Valkyrie
gone.
too.
We
Probably
just ran too far into landslide.
Yeah, too risky. Got a Valkyrie there, for sure.
Anyways, the last game that we're going to cover on this point is the icing on the cake for me in regards to this specific issue. It's game number 5. The zone is pulling a bit to the right of Frag East. LANimals do play a bit more of a traditional approach this game, crafting armors, allowing for the zone teams around them to clear out. They hit Beacon at Harvester, and then they play from there. But remember what I said about trying to play a somewhat delayed zone playstyle? This game is going to represent that to a T. They went through the motions of an edge team, and they had plenty of room to make moves. Alb even suggested walking around and playing the top side of Epicenter, as he had seen Design, who has landed at Thermal forever, do this exact play.
Yo, no, I think most of the congestion's actually going to be south side by Geyser. Maybe going staging and wrapping northwest would be good.
Yeah, I'm with that, but
It's up to you. Because we could control the cell.
I think this will be good. I think just going straight through to Harvester and then doing that and then ripping a Valkyrie at this hill or something. I think we'll be okay. I think we're good. But yeah, I mean, if we hit Beacon and we want to control that hill, that option's still there. Yeah, here's the red upgrade. Yeah, I mean, we can still go back around there.
Yeah, I just wanted to put the idea out there because I see, I've seen Design's team do that a lot.
Instead, they try and do this.
Yeah. Can we play this early?
Wasn't there a team in there?
No, there wasn't.
No? We can, yeah, we can. If any team can, it's us.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think we can. Yeah, we can make it from here. Let's do it. I mean, if not, we can just land in one of the fucking 50 buildings that are free in casket in a fragment if we want. Let's pull it here.
Yeah,
ready?
let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. I just hope that it's playable.
Yeah, it should be. I've played it before.
Stay up so that we can swerve back if we need to.
It looks free.
Yeah, it's free.
Okay, I'm gonna land on the left side of it.
Landing on just the front side of it. There's a couple safe spots. Like, fuck, man.
Can you wall? We can get him up.
Yeah.
You have to just stabilize. Just stabilize. Sit in the other corners over there. Sit in the other corners over there. Come to me. Fuck, man.
I have an Obi. It's okay.
Yeah, you guys just need to stabilize. Just flip.
Michael, safe on me. Oh, safe right here, maybe.
Taking fire. Recharging shield.
Watch them mark the dino window. They'll fuck off.
Yeah, they will.
Look straight down.
Look down.
Look down.
Okay, I got some safe here. Safe right here, Mac. You can climb up.
Someone's walking up. It's a Wraith. He's looking for a kidnap.
It's a Wraith. Yeah.
Kidnapping.
Almost kidnapped himself.
Yeah, actually.
Should block that spot.
I'm cover for you, mates.
Wait, think right now, long and hard, where the best spot is to put the fucking Moby at.
It's right here.
Batty here, mates.
Can you put it right there and stick it from inside?
Getting my cover out
Yes.
of here.
Nice. Fucking huge.
Putting up some out cover.
Yeah, you gotta take that wall when it's ready. Or you can jump grab it, actually.
I'm just gonna land in your guys' corner and reset and then loot my loot later. I'm not even gonna loot. I'm just gonna land inside and try and lift.
Yeah, I'm not rezzing you yet. I'm gonna wait a little bit.
Yep, everyone's
Yeah,
looking
just
at
wait.
res.
Might be a good idea now. Might be a good idea now.
The Wraith is gonna try to walk up, Naughty.
Okay.
Fuck it.
We can get rid of that wall. Get rid of that wall.
Next ring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that wall.
Calm down a bit.
All eyes are on us right now, boys.
Yeah, just stay alive.
We're about to get EMP'd.
Putting up some out.
Dude, I broke the wall. Come in.
I'm going in the middle here. I made it in.
Got the wall up.
We're good. We're good.
Safe corner here, guys. Tuck on me, and look down.
We're good on me too. Good on me too.
No, you're not. Tuck on me and look down.
Okay.
Drop in like it's hot.
Batting.
On me, Lou. Look straight down.
I'm gonna grab my armor. Fuck, man. I can't right now, bro. I actually cannot move. We just have to reset.
Putting up some out cover. Charging my
This
shield.
guy's got shuttle trying to push us. He's gonna try and kidnap. Shoot the drone. Nice.
I got cracked again. Holy fuck.
Yeah, we're getting
You're
longbow
not safe
from
there,
across
guys.
the map. I'm looking for the longbow guy. I'll shoot back on him.
I'm to me, guys. I think you have to come to me. Just watch over this window right here.
Okay.
Go ahead. The window. You can res right on me, Naughty. You can res right on me.
Shooting at me.
Alb, you're gonna die there if you stay there.
No, I'm not.
You have to pop it back.
My shields.
I'm gonna try and go grab my armor, okay?
Listen,
right there.
my corner is
No,
incredibly
man.
safe. You just have to
Get rid
sit
of my
here
wall.
and
Get
look
rid of my
straight
wall.
down.
Get rid of my wall.
I can't.
Get rid of my wall.
And cover's gone.
Okay, I'm chilling.
Recharging shield.
Hit blow that guy.
Yep, I'm good.
I'm just waiting.
Fuck!
Can I get you on that? No, you can't.
No, wait.
Shoot the wall so he can come to us. Shoot the wall, buddy. So he can come to us. We have to get shit.
Brad is looking.
Okay.
Batting.
Okay, right here, Naughty.
Right on
here.
me. Yep.
You can try to res me now. If you res me now, I can stabilize.
How you gonna get revenge on the sisters if you're dead? Come on.
Nice.
No more bats.
Tossing up some
We're
out
getting
cover.
Okay.
staring at us.
Yeah. You have to put another wall down.
Okay,
Cover.
I'm batting.
Shield it down for cover.
Put another wall down right here.
I don't have one. I'm
Okay,
out of
you guys have
radios
to res
too.
soon, okay?
Naughty, try to start resing.
Okay.
I've got you.
He's walking up. Wraith is walking up, guys. Wraith is walking up. Shoot the Wraith. Naughty, get
Rolling,
all over
rolling.
the res. Okay, res. Naughty,
He's kidnapping.
Naughty.
And I'm going to cut it right here because what's about to happen is going to lead us straight into problem number 3, which is where we're going to enter into the main reason that this team split up. LANimals had chemistry issues. There were numerous moments where Naughty would get blamed for small issues that would be blown way out of proportion, like what happens in this game that we were just covering.
He's kidnapping.
Naughty.
Realize your timer.
Bro.
She was just trying to kidnap. You could have kidnapped.
I know, but not if you're resing. You cannot take a portal while you're resing.
It's okay. It's okay. Me and Naughty will clutch her.
Alright, sorry, Lou. Sorry.
It happens.
Fuck.
Naughty, do you have a movie or
You
not?
just had to get off of it for a second just to shoot
Lou,
her.
it's okay.
I know.
It's okay.
I didn't understand what you wanted because I just heard you yelling.
Guys,
So I
move
didn't
past
know
it.
what you said.
Focus on the game at hand.
Naughty is getting shredded here for not sticking a res, but let's be real, that is the least of their worries. They tried to play a spot that was going to be a rough hold. Yes, they do have Rampart, which can help make this spot somewhat playable early, but still, it is really difficult to hold. And yet somehow, they still manage to reset Lou, but then he tries to get ballsy and go for his loot early. If anything, they should have been listening to Alb in this moment. Albrelelli is the Rampart and has been evaluating all the angles and finding the best spot to survive, so the moment he says where they need to play to be safe, they have to trust him here.
We're good.
Safe corner here, guys. Tuck on me, and look down.
We're good on me too.
No, you're not. Tuck on me and look down.
Okay.
Drop in like it's hot.
Batting.
On me, Lou. Look straight down.
I'm gonna grab my armor. Fuck, man. I can't right now, bro. I actually cannot move. Alb, you're gonna die there if you stay there.
No, I'm not.
You have to pop it back.
My shields.
I'm gonna try and go grab my armor, okay?
Listen,
right there.
my corner is
No,
incredibly
man.
safe. You just have to
Get rid
sit
of my
here
wall.
and
Get rid of
straight
my wall.
down.
Get rid of my wall.
I can't.
Get rid of my wall.
And cover's gone.
Guys, when I'm telling you to look down in a corner where I'm standing, exactly on me, you need to do it. Don't jump around. Don't try to get resets. Don't do anything extra. Just listen.
So we've seen how randomly the blame is getting thrown on Naughty, but to be fair to Lou, there are also plenty of moments where his criticism was in fact correct. Let's take a look at this moment on Stormpoint.
Are these rocks good, Lou? Like they're in, but like, don't we die?
No,
We die to
the
that,
paint here
no?
kills us. Yeah. That kills us too. No, we have to play right or left. One of the two.
Okay, your call.
Wait. Yeah, we have to play right. We have to kill the high team.
Okay.
And then we have to watch out for red and the middle finger to push us.
Okay, I'm gonna start setting up right.
Yeah, start setting up right.
Putting up my cover.
Watch out. They're trying to peek the stairs here.
Take damage until height. You just need height to fall, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Height's not up there anymore. Height dropped down to red and tried to fight red.
Yeah, look.
We need to play this.
Kills.
Yeah, naughty, fight. We need to focus this middle finger team, guys.
Focus right here in the middle, 1
Focus.
HP.
I'm looking over there.
Steer right here, guys, steer.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm good.
I think Cyril.
Yep, I will in a second. Give me a second here, okay?
Oh,
Hold me, guys, hold me. I need to back up. We need to take that. We need to
gonna
take
die.
that. We need to take that. Go over to the left.
I can't.
They're dying, Noni. Come back to me. Come back to me. Bro,
Yeah,
you guys just are doing way too much, and I need you to listen to me.
Although there are moments for contention here, the general point that Lou is making is right. Lou did tell them the exact plan.
And then we have to watch out for Red and the middle finger to push us.
Lou did tell Naughty to take height.
Yeah, Naughty, fly it.
Naughty didn't take height, and ultimately it seems as though the team's overall communication is frustrating Lou here. In moments of high stress, this happened a lot. In fact, I remember a very specific conversation from one of their earliest scrims where Lou called out the useless comms and how he wanted to fix those. But here we are near the end of the split and he is still calling them out for the same issue.
Because I'm like, the whole time I'm just telling you guys just to chill. I'm like, we need to get that head glitch. We need to take our space. And I'm just fumbling over my words because I have people screaming about shit that's irrelevant.
Late game, when things start popping off, you need to become even more unified and react instantly. So having a rule where the moment Lou speaks late game, everyone stops talking, listens, and does what he says could have saved some of the indecisiveness. I think bringing up this clip is important to the narrative because first off, this is not the only time this happened. This happened repeatedly throughout the split where Lou would say exactly what to do and it wouldn't happen the way he intended. But also, I think it's important because the narrative that I've started to see online is Lou getting painted as the bad guy, when in reality, both sides have legitimate reasons to be upset. Naughty had issues with the constant blame being thrown his way, especially where there was plenty of it that really was not his fault.
Yeah, like we can talk about it
Whatever.
briefly and that's it. I'm done
Yeah,
with like the
talk-
10-minute shit
that's-
on Blue
that's
ripping
what
me
I'm
apart.
saying.
I'm
Yeah,
done.
I know.
I'm
this
gonna
should-
quit the
this
team if
should-
that happens
this-
again.
this-
Lou had issues with the errors that took place despite him calming things ahead of time, and yet the mistakes were still being made.
You guys are doing way too much. I told Naughty so early to go fly up there and take control of that head glitch. You're just not listening to me. You're telling me to toss my Cyril.
On the needle or the fucking
Yes,
needle, sorry,
yes. The fucking thing that they just peeked me and I have to fucking climb up it and take it myself when I shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
You're literally doing nothing the whole time and you're just screaming at me to toss Cyril. And like,
I know. I was
like, what are you doing during all that?
I don't know. I was looking at the fucking guys on the fucking thing, bro.
It doesn't matter. I told you what we need to do and you just
I don't
need to
even know what to
listen to
call
me
it.
and relax, bro.
Alright, I know.
I told you guys we needed to get control of the middle finger and then I screamed at you to go take the head glitch there. And you're just telling me to toss Cyril doing nothing.
Yeah,
I just
I
need you
get
to listen to me.
Many have said throughout the split that Lou needed to try and micro Naughty more, and that is a fair statement, but it also can't be ignored that Lou did try to do this, it just didn't work for various reasons. Sometimes Naughty wouldn't respond to the micro, or Lou wouldn't be specific enough, it just didn't work. And that's going to bring us into Oversight, where the issues really became solidified. LANimals had already missed out on LAN, but they were going to be competing in Oversight. This gave fans a lot of hope that they would continue to stick it out at least till LCQ as a team, but the issues that we're about to go over were the final nail in the coffin. We have two moments here that I want to highlight. The first is they tried to kill a team at Climatizer, they failed to do so, Lou and Naughty died, and eventually they lose the game, and this discussion happens.
Kill that guy on the right. I just had to dip.
Weird, I saw it coming a
I
mile.
just smoke my feet and leave. I just don't want to fuck your guys' angles.
I mean, you were full HP, right?
Yeah, when I was peeking, yeah, I just got exploded by the two on the right. On the rampart wall.
Yeah, I know, but
Where's the fight right now?
I just got a wall down when he told me to look at that direction.
did you guys have nades?
No.
I think
Bro,
we.
why do we not have nades?
I threw
I just
4
didn't find
nades. I threw 2
Are
arcs
you-
and a frag.
You didn't find any nades in the entire game.
I had a white bag and I had no nades. There's one nade in the building.
I just
I should have
think-
dropped ammo and grabbed it.
I think we
but-
threw our Horizon ult too early. I think
We
just-
definitely did. We definitely
we
did.
just needed to
100%.
get to get on the back of the RV as a team, like before we threw our Horizon ult, so that we can fucking swing in and work our damage with our ult. But instead,
Mm-hmm.
we ulted and they just went behind walls. Like they had walls at the front by the seats, and they had a wall at the back. So
Well, I threw it when I threw it when they had no. It didn't do anything. You're right. You're correct.
Yeah.
Right.
They just had pre-placed. They had the pre-placed walls. That's what fucked us. It was the ones that are at the front and back.
Yeah, they did two in the
we-
corners.
Yeah, we did good breaking the sidewalls, but we needed to work the ones at the front too. Like if we got to the back of the RV and then we peeked inside and fucking shot the wall out at the front, and nade spammed with Horizon ult, they just die.
Yeah, and I threw my nades in wrong places. But bro, you need to be picking up nades. Like no matter what.
I know. Yeah, I just have to drop ammo, burn it, and just sit on my hands.
I mean, You don't even have to drop ammo, bro. I had a white bag there too, and I like made it work. I had 2 stacks of ammo for each of my guns. Like I could shoot forever.
Well, yeah,
Like,
and I mean, I
that's
just had an
definitely
enemy. You know how it is. I had like 100. I had 240 bullets. Only had 3 stacks, and then 2 prowler stacks.
Yeah, there's just
So
no
that's
reason
like,
why you shouldn't
you
be
know?
carrying nades in a game.
Yeah.
That nades are like what wins games.
I think it's totally fair for Lou to ask his teammates to carry at least 1 nade, but the timing of this discussion is all out of whack. If you're gonna nitpick the smallest of things, you don't need to spend 3 minutes on it, and you certainly don't need to be doing it in the middle of a tournament. Focus on the actual issue at hand, which Mac repeatedly pointed out was their utility usage. Naughty throwing an 8th nade might help, but it doesn't fix the actual problem, which is the same thing we ran into with the failed res at the cart. Lou is hyper-fixating on these small issues that weren't the actual problem with the game. Now, the final clip I want to show you from Oversight, they're being contested at Overlook, and here's what happens.
On your bottom, on your back, on your back.
What?
I swear this guy, bro, I got headied.
Bang swing me, bang swing me, bang swing me.
Yeah, I get up the roof,
Bang 70 blue, 70 blue. 2 low HP on the gun.
Fight 2v2,
Heal,
fight
heal,
2v2.
heal.
I just dropped.
No,
I literally said that. You told me to play 2v2. They're weak.
Why are you doing that, bro?
Because he said he was one. One of them was weak. But I was midair dropping already as you said play 2v2. I was capitalizing off the damage.
Bro, you don't do that.
They were so weak. Alright. Okay.
Why do that? You're literally just put yourself in 1v2 and they gave me 1v2. Bro, I don't know why you've been playing like this lately. It's actually so frustrating.
I was just capitalizing off his damage. I apologize.
Okay, yeah, I would have loved for you to 1v2 there, but that's not how the game works. Like, that's not what you do. You know that. You know that. I don't know why, like, your instincts have been so, like...
I don't know, bro, because every fucking game, even if I do something... I don't know. I'm not gonna make excuses.
Yeah, don't make excuses for yourself. Just don't do it anymore.
I just gotta figure it out. That's it. No matter what. If I do something right or wrong, it's wrong. So I'm gonna figure it out. That's it.
You can tell there is frustration here happening on both ends. Lou is once again focused on the mistake in the moment, while Naughty was about to say that he always gets blamed for everything no matter what. And that's the reason why this team failed. Everyone right now is blaming Lou or Naughty, but in reality, it just wasn't working on both sides. Naughty has every right to feel upset at Lou for constantly blaming him, especially when some of the mistakes truly weren't his fault. And Lou has every right to be upset about the team's dynamic, as there were a lot of moments throughout the split that his teammates did cost them dearly, despite him putting his team in positions to avoid those mistakes. Lou eventually responded on stream as to his point of view of the situation, and here's what he said.
I wasn't happy with my teaming environment. And it hadn't been just a recent thing.
Be right back.
Like, it was during the last couple of weeks of Pro League. During the last couple of weeks of Pro League, I even mentioned to them, I was like, guys, like, I can't do this anymore. Like, you guys need to start putting in more work in customs with me and Dupe, or I can't be on the team anymore. Like, I during the last weeks of Pro League, where you guys don't see this, you guys don't understand this, because it's just in private, I messaged them and literally told them straight, like, this is what I need. I need you guys to put more time in with me in customs, and you need to put in more time in the game in general. And if we do that, then we can make it to Pro League, but if we don't, then we aren't making LAN. And I told them that, and then from that moment on, when they weren't putting in the time in, like in customs and shit with me and Duke, then from that moment on, we didn't make LAN. Like, it was just fucked, and from that moment on, I didn't feel like I was in the right teaming environment, and it just pissed me off so bad. And so, like, I couldn't give my full effort. I couldn't give my max effort because I wasn't motivated to play with them anymore. There wasn't any shine anymore. There wasn't that love to team with them anymore. And so I felt like we had complete control whether or not we made it to LAN, and we didn't put in the time, and we didn't make it to LAN. And so after LAN, like, I had no motivation to be improved with this team anymore. And like, everybody's saying that, like, I should have stuck it out, and that Rome isn't built in a day, you know what I mean? Like, I should have just stuck it out. Yeah, for sure, bro. I should put my teammates through that and myself and be miserable and not be able to give my fullest to someone when Mac and Naughty can both find teammates that will put their best in and will put their most in. That's just bullshit. I'm gonna cut it loose as soon as I can so that those motherfuckers can find good teammates to play in LCQ. Why didn't you end it after the Pro League? Why did you wait all this time? Because I wanted to see if it was salvageable. What does that even mean? Why didn't I immediately end it after Pro League?
What's the far away from purple?
That's like...
It's right here.
That's like...
And there's a purple right here.
The Wraith
That's why it sort of pisses me off to see all these people say that because of the results that we had that I left. Because like obviously it wasn't because of the results. Because then I would have left immediately after Pro League. It was because I didn't feel like it was going to work out and I wanted to cut my losses. And also, if I couldn't give them the respect of a good teammate and couldn't give them the most of a teammate, then why would I stay with them?
And so ultimately, this is what I think Lou meant when he said that the team had different goals. Lou clearly was wanting to fix every single problem they had and was striving for perfection. But over time, those mistakes continuing to happen led to him becoming frustrated, which I think led to the blame game that we saw happening at the end of the split. His patience wore thin and he unfairly started to hyper-focus on Naughty's mistakes because some of the things that he had tried to correct earlier in the split were still happening, and he allowed that frustration to bleed over into every single interaction. And on Naughty's end, he started to lose confidence as this occurred. Getting blamed for real mistakes while also getting blamed for plays that weren't his fault blurred the lines in his mind of what he should be doing. He was constantly second guessing himself, which only led to more mistakes. He would be aggressive and be told that he needed to be playing more passive. He would play passive and then be told that he needed to be playing more aggressive. If this team continued on the trajectory that they were on, it was only going to get worse. And so with that, one of the most beloved teams in the history of Apex broke apart, and we await to see where each of these players end up during the next phase of their careers. I referenced Meat Lovers a few times throughout this video, so if you want to find out why they missed LAN, click right here. Also, this is your second reminder to please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy ALGS content. Also, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch, and if you want to find out how to support me even further on Patreon, click the link in the description.